Try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
In the second hour, Freak Nation, Matt and Angie Smith, the dynamic duo on two wheels when it comes to your NHRA Pro Stock bikes. They'll be here in the Freak Nation. Also, your Statman Scat, the dangers of rally, and which might frankly translate to drifting. We'll get to that coming up here in the Freak Nation. In moments, more on Denny Hamlin pissing off about 90,000 people at Pocono Raceway. And we'll also get into a conversation, the epicness that is Jet Lawrence, Joseph Newgarden, and Max Verstappen. It's all coming up here in the Freak Nation. Play ball with us, Freak Nation. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we're there for you. Hit us up at Speed Freaks on Twitter. Statman, we'd like to welcome you back at the Freak Nation now that storms and the mice and the technical issues have worked themselves out, buddy.
I fed the mice during that break. They said, thank you. We'll give it back to you now. So everything is fine.
So who electrocuted the mice? I mean, lightning had something to do with something around there, didn't it?
Yeah, I crossed my fingers and toes and everything. And knock on wood.
Whoa.
Yeah, Freak Nation, that is technology nowadays. Now, Statman, you heard that first hour, and we'll let you take the floor a little bit on this. When Denny Hamlin got the win in Pocono, when the caution was thrown on that last lap, you automatically, I know that they tried to cover it up initially, but Jeff Burton wisely said, no, that's not the reason why they're booing. They're booing because freaking Denny Hamlin punted Kyle Larson. And Kyle Larson says he's never had any issue with Denny Hamlin and having to punt Denny Hamlin in the past.
Well, he's never had to apologize to Denny Hamlin.
Right.
But then later on, as we played in the first hour, we will replay it again. Denny said, no, that's not true. He has called me up and apologized a couple of times, as a matter of fact. So it's a he said versus he said.
Statman, the floor is yours, buddy.
We're going to see who apologized to whom. I have seen Kyle Larson kind of rub guys and bump fenders, and I'll never forget the time he slammed into the guy at Indianapolis on the road course, knocked him to what's that town you lived in?
Oh, last year.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle Larson is not faultless in the way he handles stuff, but both of these guys, I don't know how Denny Hamlin could say, I never touched him. He knocked him into the wall, for crying out loud. So, if they were friends before, I don't know how long that friendship is going to last going forward. They're going to have to sit down and have a conversation about some of this stuff and what happened. Both of them are saying opposite. Both of them are on opposite sides of that aisle right now.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin on the aisle of, oh, no, this was just an arrow issue, and I did everything in my power not to take the arrow off of him. Kyle Larson standing in the aisle of, he touched me, and he pushed me up into the fence.
Yeah, well, it was, I forget who it was, LaJoy maybe, that Hamlin got close to. He didn't touch him, but he took the air off of his spoiler. Instead of the spoiler holding him down, the air went straight from LaJoy's car to Hamlin's car. He lost traction and put him into the wall. And supposedly, the announcers were saying that LaJoy was looking for Hamlin after the race. So, yeah, I mean, both of these guys do what they want to do on the racetrack and think they could get away with it. In short, couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people.
Here's Denny Hamlin post-race. Denny Hamlin post-race. He was asked about Kyle Larson's comment about really never had to call him out, Crasher, on a push or a shove or an aero draft in the past. Denny Hamlin, his take on Kyle Larson's comment.
Well, that's not true. He's ran me off a bunch of road courses and called me and said sorry, and I said I'm going to stand my ground next time. I'm not here to defend anything. I put both of those guys, the 48 and the 5, in an aero situation. Didn't touch either one. How can you wreck someone you don't touch? They make a decision to either let off the gas and race side by side, or hit the gas and hit the wall. I mean, I put them to those decisions. I didn't overshoot the corner. I was behind them. I tried to get position on them. Knew it was going to be tight off of 2, but always made sure I left a lane or more than a lane. You know, it's the same. You know, these next gen cars, for whatever reason, you get in that spot near the car on the outside, it sends them very tight. It just tightens their aero balance. Everyone knows it. You know, Kyle is one of the best aero blockers in our field. I knew once he got the lead and it was green, there was just no way I was going to go around on that. So I just backed off and just waited and tried not to burn up my for a restart later, because he knows how to put you in a situation to just kill your car. So, you know, we waited and we pounced at the right time. He, you know, didn't get his right sides clean and drove in the corner just too far and let us get beside him. And then I thought we were going to race it out off of 2, but, you know, it was just he got in the fence.
He got in the fence, that man.
Oh, just coincidentally.
He changed his idea 2 or 3 times in that soundbite. He knows how to take the air off a car. That's how you pass people on ovals, especially short ovals. You don't have to hang them out of the way. All you have to do is take the air off the rear of the car. And the side drafting that happens on a track like at Pocono, of course, he knew what he was doing. He knew, and he said it with the aero. He said that Kyle Larson knows how to handle the aero, so I had to do something about it. And he did. He knocked him into the wall. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I do not understand how somebody could stand up in front of a room full of knowledgeable people and just tell them anything and expect them to be believed.
Part of the entertainment business is acting, and these drivers have become excellent actors post-race, sometimes pre-race, but post-race especially. And they tell you things sometimes in a way that the truth gets buried, even though they just said it right in front of you. And that's pretty much what happened right there in Denny Hamlin's little speech.
Yeah, he changed boats in the middle of the stream 2 or 3 times in that soundbite. That's amazing to me how I don't know anything about NASCAR racing, but I do know what he said was both sides of the timeline, both sides of his mouth, both out of both cars, both sides of the track, both sides of the aisle, however else you want to say it. He conflicted his own statements in that, I don't know, 1 minute soundbite.
Well, here's something for you, Freak Nation. Figure this out. When was the last time? Okay, when was the first time you heard a driver complain about another driver doing something on the track, and that other driver he was complaining about goes, he's right. I did it on. You'll never, ever, ever, ever hear 2 drivers agree on something when there was a transgression on the track. So I didn't expect Denny Hamlin or Kyle Larson to go, yep, he's right. Yeah, hell yes, he's right. They're not going to say that. And of all the people, Denny Hamlin's the guy, as we found out recently with his podcast, that he's pretty much free to say anything he wants now. And if the problem I had editing some of that, and the point I'm making here is Denny Hamlin, he's going to say what he feels, whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. But if you go back and listen to this press conference, it's 25 minutes of a lot of S-bombs. And there's frustration there. And I'd be curious to hear Denny Hamlin's true take, and maybe we'll hear it tomorrow with this podcast. Tuesday, right. Maybe we'll hear it. Is it affecting him with the size of those boos and the massive call-outs that he's getting from the fan base? When at one time, Denny Hamlin was a favorite. He was the antagonist or protagonist of his teammate, Kyle Busch. People loved him some Denny Hamlin. But now, how the tide has turned, Statman.
You know what's going to happen is that he's going to get a phone call from Mavis Tires or FedEx or Coca-Cola, the sponsors that he has, and they're going to say, hey, dude, those 90,000 people who were booing you, they buy our products, and you represent our products. And if you're going to sit there and let them boo you and laugh and say, I don't care, well, you'll be out there by yourself. A perfect example of that is Kyle Busch, who tried to play the villain for several years. And when he needed sponsorship, he couldn't find it. And that's why he left Joe Gibbs and is now at Richard Childress. And he's the nicest guy you could imagine because that villain role doesn't go far these days when sponsors are eager to get out from under $1 million contracts.
Freak Nation, coming up next, the dynamic duo of Matt and Angie Smith. What's this about hanging meat? We'll figure that out. It's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
If it's a weekend and there's motorsports involved, you know what that means for us. More travel. More travel means not a great diet. We're feeding off media center food where there certainly is a lack of fruits and vegetables.
Kenny, that's where Field of Greens comes from. These little jars save us on the road. This is real fruits and vegetables ground up so easy that you just mix it with your favorite drink of choice. It could be as simple as water. These guys keep us healthy on the road.
Real organic fruits and vegetables. It helps you with your heart, metabolism, your immune system. It's all right here in Field of Greens.
But hey, don't just take our word for it. Take Field of Greens yourself. And if you go to your doctor a month down the road and he or she doesn't say, hey, what are you doing? Your health is incredible. Keep it up. Then send it back. Full refund.
Go to fieldofgreens.com. Use code FREAKS for 15% off. And for recurring orders, an additional 10%. That's 25% off with the code FREAKS at fieldofgreens.com.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at WWTRaceway.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
than obvious that motorsports is dangerous on any level. It's dangerous. People get injured and people die. This week, a very unscientific look at the problem found 21 deaths worldwide this year. At least 13 of them came in some form of rallying. And I'm a big rally fan. I've participated, organized, and won awards for covering the sport. So it's hard to talk about the death of a woman, a co-driver at the New England Rally, a championship, national championship, just 9 days ago. I have no idea how or why she died, but people are working hard to make motorsport, especially rallying, safer. Speeds have been reduced, cars have been modified for safety, and equipment has been checked and double-checked to meet safety standards. But in my opinion, the one thing that's not checked enough is the actual shell, the age of the metal and the wear and tear on the shell itself. People in rallying and even drifting are using cars built 20 and 25 years ago. They've been banged around, welded, modified, and banged around some more. The fact that some are using 25-year-old metal that's weathered and worn, welded, is beyond me, no matter how much safety equipment is bolted in. I hope that people in the motorsport industry reconsider the issue and outlaw metal that's a quarter century old. Peace.
Statman Scat brought to you by good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com to find really any product, to keep your engine snappy and happy. Inside your engine, outside your engine, inside your car's interior, your exterior. Don't believe me? Check it out at lucasoil.com. Hundreds of items to keep your automobiles, your bikes, your boats happy. Playing off of the Statman Scat and listening to your comment and your commentary, and a lot of that, remember, it's Statman's opinion. But getting back to these older cars that they're running in rally, Statman, is it frankly the setup of these cars and the way they were built with the rack and pinion and the actual bracing of these cars that seem to work much better than cars in the late 2000s or the 2015s or 16s?
Well, let me say, first of all, that again, this is my opinion, but it is based on some conversations that I've had with championship drivers and some of the officials in the series. Now, the accident that took the life of the woman in at the New England Rally, that's still being investigated. So nobody knows what caused it or why or any of that. So all of these disclaimers, but you can't start with a 25 or 30-year-old car. These cars were built in the mid-90s, some of them, and the metal is old. It's been bent. It's been pushed back to meet some sort of standard. You can't do that more than once or twice before the shell is damaged and needs to be replaced. I had a championship driver tell me in a long conversation several years ago that that's one problem that Americans have in rallying, is that they tend to use the shell over and over again before the metal has become fatigued, and they don't understand that the shell is part of the replaceable parts in the car. So that you look out there, and it's not so much now as it was before, but it still happens. Some of these cars are lumps, and I wouldn't drive them to tech inspection, much less drive them down a stage road at speed. So, and again, I'm not saying that that's what the problem was in this accident or any accident. I'm saying that this is a problem that needs to be addressed, and a cage will protect you if you get off-road, maybe slam into a tree, but the movement of the chassis, even if it's minuscule or minute movements, will cause problems at the wrong time and send you into that tree that could cause even greater problems later on.
Well, Statman, then the simple question is, why do they continue to run these lumps when you're an outsider right now? I mean, granted, you were heavily involved in rally at one time, but you still see an issue here that tells me that these people are blind or they're poor. They don't want to sink money into a better body, a better car. Why run these old jalopies, these lumps, as you call it?
That's part of the issue. That rallying, I've been looked at as a pariah to some degree, because I've said for years that the rally community needs to set aside some people who will compete on a national basis and have the money to have new cars and repair the cars properly, and they compete for the national championship. So much of the money that goes into rallying is from the sportsmen who they have 75 cars in the event. The back 50 are sportsmen who just run in that local event. And quite frankly, they can't afford to replace the shell as often as it needs to be replaced. And that's what a lot of the officials have told me, at least, that they don't want to do that because they would lose a significant number of people in the field. I think that's a mistake.
Okay, so losing a significant number of people in the field who are paying their entry fees matters more than losing somebody's life. Again, I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm putting words in other people's mouths, but that's the illusion that is coming off of this. And I don't like that.
I don't like it either. That's the illusion. I want to be very careful about what we're saying.
Right.
All of us are saying. We're not saying that that's caused any accidents, but I do know that cars are old, and sometimes they go by me on the road, and you can hear them twist and turn. They're old, and they should be retired. But some people, I get another year out of this, and you know, that's just not fair to anybody on the side of the road, in the car, or any place else.
Are the sanctioning bodies just neutered? They don't have the huevos or the balls to step in there and say, look, man, what you're driving is a lump. You need to update.
And it's a legal issue.
Well, that's what tech inspection will do. And some of the cars that they look at are fine examples, but the metal is 25 or 30 years old.
Yeah.
And the cars, they look wonderful. But if a car is supposed to work like this to be proper, and sometimes it moves like this, and that's dangerous.
Because of wear and tear over decades.
Yes, exactly. Crash, you said it better than I said it for 20 minutes here.
No, that's not true.
Wear and tear over decades that needs to be addressed. And if you address it by saying you can't run this car, then they would rather have the entry than not have the entry. And that sounds callous. And it probably is oversimplification on my part, but these are sportsmen, largely sportsmen drivers who are out there to have a good time and compete and see how they fit against the fast guys that come into town. But I think that is a danger that should be addressed at some point.
Does this happen in world rally racing, or is this just something specific to the American Series?
No, that it probably happens internationally, but internationally they have rules that say the cars have to be homologated on some of the World Rally Championship, and if we go out and have the Speed Freaks special, we still have to meet rules of homologation.
There you go.
After 5 or 10 years, the car is not allowed into the event. They don't want to have homologation to FIA specs here in the United States because they say it's too expensive, that the parts aren't available, and people can't afford. They would like to do that, but they can't. They don't want to do that because of the expense involved.
All right, I'll ask the question, Freak Nation. We got 45 seconds, Statman. Homologation. Speak in lay terms, please, real quick. Go.
The cars have to be built so many copies of it so you don't have one-off like Rod Millen's four-wheel drive Mazda RX-7 that he raced against John Bufflam's homologated Audi. When people show up at an event, they make sure they're not running against the hot rod.
Freak Nation, Matt and Angie Smith, the dynamic duo on two wheels, pro stock bike pilots for the NHRA. It's a hell of an insight to a marriage that works on the track and, frankly, off the track. We'll get to that. Coming up next, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
General Tire was born more than 100 years ago, right here in America. We've spent the last century tackling every kind of road this country has to offer, and especially the places without roads. So you know that with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, Matt and Angie Smith. Matt Smith, multiple-time champion in the Pro Stock Bike category for the NHRA. Angie Smith, multiple-time winner on the NHRA circuit for the Pro Stock Bikes. We caught up with them in Denver for the Mile High Nationals. Talked a lot about Mile High Nationals, but frankly, talked a lot about where the Pro Stock bike classes should be running. And then, of course, as we typically do, we dove right into some home issues that they might have. Matt and Angie Smith now, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Angie, if there's a track out there to fill the void of Bandimere and maybe Phoenix may be coming back, is there a track out there that we may not be aware of that you would like to see fill the void of one of these tracks that are Houston, that are going away here on the circuit?
You know, I really like racing at Houston. They did bring St. Louis and Chicago back, so I like going there. We raced at Epping 2 times ever. The bikes did, and MSR was undefeated there. Oh. John Hall won, and I won, and John Hall was on our bike, and then that was my first race win. So I would like to go back there because I've never been able to defend my win.
I think everybody would like to go back there right now. Right.
Is that how the NHRA is going to fill the void for you guys, at least, when some of your tracks are going away?
I mean, I think that, with some of the tracks going away, they're going to have to, we might have to go to Epping. I mean, I know Topeka, you know, we went there last year, but we didn't go there this year because we did Seattle. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Why is that? Why are there certain tracks that, yes, you guys with your motorcycles are there, and then certain ones that you're not?
Well, it all boils down to, a lot of times tracks will ask for the motorcycles to come.
Right.
And you
They will or will not?
They will.
Oh, okay, good.
They will. So the track will ask NHRA, hey, we'd like to have the motorcycles here.
Yeah. Okay.
And, you know, then our committee, which consists of 5 of us in the Pro Stop Bike Committee, we get together and we kind of plan out our schedule and give that to NHRA of where we would like to go.
Okay.
Now, that's not always set in stone. NHRA will send us somewhere that maybe we don't want to go, but for the most part, they work with us pretty good because we try to keep our bike counts up to where we know where people's going to travel, where people's not going to travel. And this 3-race swing here is probably going to be pretty hard on the bikes because a lot of the bike people have normal jobs and, or phrase back to the hobby racer days, you know?
Yeah.
And people can't be gone a whole month from work.
But when you say where the bike people are going to come, I thought you meant fans, but you mean you guys as crew members, basically, because, yes, you're right. There's full-time jobs in the office elsewhere.
Yeah, there is. And, you know, when we actually left home on Tuesday, and we won't be home till August 5th. So we're going to be on the road the entire time. So you have to think about that. Like, I have to pay all the bills, you know, on the road, you know, everything. And then when we have our crew members, you know, when you fly them back to East Coast, it's a day to fly back, a day to fly, and then you're only home a day because they got to be back on Wednesday or Thursday. So it's kind of pointless to fly people back and forth. So kind of the whole West Coast swing is you're on the road for a month. And it's tough, like when you have crew members, and sometimes we have crew guys that fly in that have a normal job and they fly in and this is their weekend job, you know, and that's tough.
You pay the bills by winning, I'm just saying.
Angie, with this type of travel schedule, is there separation time that you require with Matt because he's being an a-hole? You say, look, dude, you go up in the trailer or you go up in the hotel room. I'm going to sit here by the pool.
It really all depends on what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, it's all dependent on how good her bike runs. Doesn't matter about anybody else in the camp. It's all about her bike. If her bike's running good, it's happy-go-lucky around our camp.
No, that's not true. I am a very team player.
Now, if hers is running bad, oh my gosh.
It's not nice.
It's not good around our pit.
Hold on, but you have bad days too, though, Matt.
And he's grumpy. When he doesn't run well, he's grumpy, but he doesn't ever admit that. But, you know, why are we in this business? To win, right? Yep. So if I just was like, oh, okay, and just come in and set myself down, then they would go, well, she don't care anyway. I am passionate about this, and I get mad. Yeah. My crew chief needs to do his job.
So you don't.
That is the line of the interview. My crew chief needs to do his job.
So there's not a routine that you guys have, whether you're winning or losing, of separation? Because, again, us being married, We need to find time to separate.
I mean, I just get mad. If I get mad, I just don't talk to him for a couple hours, or I'll go to
Actually,
bed.
I'm in touch with that.
Right.
I mean,
who's the bigger a-hole when they're mad?
come on now. He's a Smith.
Oh. What the hell does that mean?
The apple doesn't fall far from the
At least
tree.
you're talking about my dad.
Oh.
I mean, he's aggressive. Ricky's aggressive.
She just called your dad an a-hole.
No, I did not. I said he was aggressive.
Okay. Oh, well, an aggressive
Do
hole.
not get me in trouble with Ricky Smith.
Yeah, no. Or Amanda, his sister, could also come after you. So hey, you got to get credit.
That's a good thought. This is always awesome.
Amanda knows.
You know, we
Right,
typically
exactly.
in the interview when we talk about a little personal situations.
Well, hold on though. We need to
What?
talk about idiosyncrasies because
Oh,
one
boy.
thing that drives me crazy, he leaves cabinets open all the time. Is there something he doesn't? You leave the cabinets open?
I mean, sometimes, but.
Okay,
Really?
hold on.
Oh hell.
Air conditioning. Air conditioning. What's your number? What's your number for air conditioning?
Are you talking about in the room or in the car?
Ooh, that's a good call. Let's go room. Hotel room.
In the trailer, because we stay here.
Okay.
60.
Trailer.
60.
What's yours?
Yeah, at night it's 60, 61. During the day it's 68.
What do you during the day?
I'm 68.
You're fine with
fine.
that? Okay.
I'll go put a coat on.
Come to Phoenix. We argue over the air conditioning all the time. I'll sit there and I'll turn it down, and he's like turning it back up. I'm like, no.
I'm upstairs on my phone turning it.
I like to hang meat when I'm sleeping.
Hey!
Yeah. Yeah.
And on that note,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's how we roll here in the Freak Nation. You get into a very serious conversation with Matt and Angie Smith, and then you end it with air conditioned conversation. You like it cold, hot? Nope. You like to hang meat in it.
That's
we roll.
very cold.
Yeah, it's very cold. I couldn't imagine. Again, it's no secret, Crasher. I've been married for years. We have a child. Known each other for 23 years. Statman's known Crash as long as I have, 23 years. I couldn't imagine, though, competing against my wife in a motorsport. Motorsport, in any athletic event, competing against my significant other, Stat.
The two of you compete weekly.
What's the sport called?
That's true. In the sport of talking.
Yeah. That we won't go into any. I sit back and watch the two of you, and because I know both of you, I hear the little nuance in what you're saying, and I just sort of let it go. And I mean, you'll work it out. You gotta, I don't have to be there when I say goodbye. I'm gone.
Shoot the juice to the moose, and yep, I'm out of here, freaks.
Yeah, there it is. Now, that I do know that it is nice. I lived with people and dated people, obviously, and we've traveled together. And you really have to know somebody in order to have that kind of intimate relationship. And they're obviously a good couple. They could laugh and joke, and there are times she said, I'd take 2 hours and go, unwind. But at the end of the day, they're going home together, and they race together, and they raise a family together. And Matt's got 6 championships, for crying out loud, including last year. So, yeah, he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to get the best out of her bike.
One thing that I would be curious to talk to them about off camera, or hell on camera, was really that relationship from the moment out of bed to the moment back in the bed, and really how that works. You've got like Leah Pruitt, Tony Stewart. Granted, they're not running up against each other, but Tony Stewart is her boss, but she's the one that's been in Top Fuel and in drag racing for many, many more years than Tony Stewart has. I can't think of anything other than Crasher, maybe Delana Harvick and Kevin Harvick.
No.
Maybe
in team ownership, you're right. But when it comes to the cup side of things, no.
Yeah, no. It's hard to marriage is difficult enough. Relationship is difficult enough. Mm-hmm. But you throw in the ego and the arrogance, and I'm good and I'm better than you. And the two of you have to work that out, especially if you're competing against one another. Yeah, I mean, there's an expectation, and I'm supposed to win sometimes, and I'm not going to let you win all the time. So, yeah, that's hard, and you really have to care for somebody to live in that kind of environment.
The closest the closest that comes to me though is Danica Patrick when she was dating Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
In NASCAR.
But that's all I can really.
Crash Gladys, Statman, Kenny Sargent, Speed Freaks on a Sunday night. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you guys on MAV TV for following us or actually watching us for the last couple hours. Figured out those tech issues, and on the Freak Radio Network. Got another segment coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
General Tire was born more than 100 years ago, right here in America. We've spent the last century tackling every kind of road this country has to offer, and especially the places without roads. So you know that with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Speed Freaks on a Sunday night, Freak Nation. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, we're all here for you. Just go to the website, lucasoil.com, or frankly, go to our website, speedfreaks.tv. You can check out a lineage of interviews over the past 23 years, Freak Nation. Go to speedfreaks.tv and also hit the Lucas Oil button midway through the page where you can check out a line of products to keep every bit of your cars, your motorcycles, your sports cars, fat and happy. Go to lucasoil.com or speedfreaks.tv. Statman, you look at the domination that, frankly, we've all seen the last, gosh, I'm just too damn tired to count months. But you've got Joseph Newgarden with the domination in Iowa.
Well, ovals in general. He has not lost an oval since last August.
Got it. Oh, geez, true.
Yeah.
The domination with Max Verstappen. Jet Lawrence in motocross. Granted, they're not. I mean, Jimmy Johnson was Michael Schumacher-esque when it came to the multiple championships. Statman, in your opinion, is domination like this, or domination like we're seeing? Granted, these aren't multiple 6 or 7 championships, but is domination like this good for motorsports in all forms of racing?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a major, just like the Yankees or the Patriots.
Yep.
Domination gives the fan base somebody to cheer for and somebody to cheer against. In every game they play, there's the heroes and villains. That's what stories are about. And I think it's good. But people do get bored nowadays. Their attention span, I think I heard it said that some demographic groups, their attention span is as less as 8 seconds, and some 12 seconds. But I find that hard to believe. But however they measure that, some attention spans get bored if one person wins all the time. So they're not going to be interested. And if you want mass numbers of people to watch and pay attention, they're not going to be interested.
I get what you're saying, Statman, but Joseph Newgarden, he's not an a-hole. He's not pissing a whole lot of people off. If he was dominating on these ovals and was an a-hole, I think it'd be a different story. Now, Max Verstappen, on the other hand, Statman, he's pissing off a whole hell of a lot of people. So I could see where your argument holds for that, Statman.
Well, the one thing that about Verstappen, when he wins, it's because he drove the car spectacularly. When other people win, they thank the crew and the people back at the shop and all of that because they gave him a great car to drive spectacularly. And people notice that. Arrogance is tough to hide. And people notice that. And in fact, Kevin Harvick used to pick on his crew all the time. If they had a bad pit stop, that's the reason why he lost. And it's hard to get people to work for you if you tell them you're the one that you're the person that's you're my problem. Mm-hmm. So I think that eventually that's going to catch up with him.
Okay, but in talking about arrogance, isn't it true that you need a tiny bit of arrogance in your personality in order to succeed in a sport? Well, actually, any sport, to be perfectly honest.
More than a tiny bit. I mean, you need a level of arrogance to succeed in broadcasting. If you reach
very
from
valid.
a studio into a camera, down a wire, and grab somebody and say, hey, what I have to say is more important than what you're doing right now, that's a lot of arrogance. And the people that are successful, and I've worked with a lot of them, are people that you wouldn't want to sit next to at dinner, but they're the ones that have had success at what they do. So yeah, it takes a lot of arrogance to be successful.
And as I got older, I appreciate in a strange sense, I appreciate an a-hole dominator, whether it's the New England Patriots or the Lakers or the Celtics to a degree.
But wait a minute. Why is that? Because I feel like when it's in the moment, more fans than not are hating it. They're not in. They're not. They just don't like domination when it's in the moment. But then after the fact, they're like, man, that was such a great decade because of them winning all the time. Why is that?
Well, you'll hear the stories about how people will go back and watch those championships with the Detroit Pistons and the gnarliness that they had on court and the sledgehammers and the chainsaws they brought that they brought to the paint. They reminisce about those great defensive matchups with Michael Jordan, and when they would take on the West. It just revisionist history. I get it, Crash, but Bill Belichick, his a-holeness made the Patriots and made millions of people hate the Patriots.
Oh, wait, Statman disagrees.
Don't go into that, because Bill Belichick is, I don't want to say he's a phony, but Bill Belichick was 4-17 when Drew Bledsoe got hurt and brought in Tom Brady. If it wasn't for Bledsoe getting hurt and Brady taking him to the Super Bowl, Bill Belichick never would have become a championship coach, and he'd have been selling insurance because he was on his way to getting fired. He's only been in the playoffs once without Tom Brady, twice. So it was once with the Browns and once with, I think, a couple of years ago with Matt Smith, or Matt, what's his name? The guy, his current quarterback. So, yeah, don't get me started on Bill Belichick. That's
his coaching regimen I wasn't talking about. His a-holeness, moving on to Cincinnati, played perfect into that situation, whether it was all Tom Brady or a little bit, regardless. He was just an a-hole, which, again, we all bought into it. We grew to love his old crankiness, get off my lawn.
No, I never did. And a lot of people that I know never did. I thought he was boorish, just like Popovich in San Antonio. These are boorish people that they're the best at their business, but I don't like them. And when you belittle people because of your success, that I have a problem with that.
You're buying right into it. You bought into the boorishness.
Well, hold on, though. Guess someone who did not belittle people, Jimmy Johnson. But then people called him too vanilla, talking about Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time NASCAR champion, since we're kind of cross-mingling stick and ball with motorsports here. But yeah, so what do you want? You want a boorish guy? Not saying you, Statman, but you want a boorish guy or do you want a vanilla guy? Because you can still get arrogance in both and championships in both.
I thought Jimmy Johnson was a champ. He was the perfect champion. I'm a big fan of Lewis Hamilton, and I think Lewis is an excellent champion. He, if nothing else, he congratulates the people who gave him a great car, and say we got to work harder to catch those guys. They're faster than us.
Another one, John Force.
Yeah, John Force, perfect example. Yes.
Listen, frankly, I have no dog in this hunt or horse in this race. I like a-holes. I like them in the business of sports. I'm not going to go have beer with them, but I like having a-holes and black hats in sports. At my age now, when I was 25, and my view of this great planet and those who lived on it was a little bit different, but now it's like, I don't give a damn if you're boorish or boring. Just entertain me, you happy bastard.
And win.
Yeah, there we go. We got Richie shows up at the end of the show. Right. Entertain me.
Just entertain me.
Entertain me. Again, Richard Petty, he wasn't an a-hole. Mario Andretti was an a-hole in the right places as he was winning championships.
But he knew how to soften the edges almost everywhere throughout those championships as well, which is why
Richard Petty, if you said the wrong thing at the wrong time, you'd wake up with a crowd standing over you.
True.
And a bunch of birds going around your head. What just happened?
Exactly.
All right, Freak Nation, we are going to do it again next week. And the word is we'll have Travis Pastrana here in the Freak Nation. Hope that comes through. And then we can serve it up to you coming up next Sunday. Again, Freak Radio Network, thank you guys for hanging out. Mav TV, thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there for you. The website is speedfreaks.tv. Long-ass weekend with a lot of kids running around this house, man.
Oh, yes, it was.
Oh,
yeah,
my
see?
goodness.
World Cup. World Cup, ladies. Let's go USA. That's
go.
what we were entertaining this week.
All right, Stat Man, shoot the juice to the moose.
And cut it loose.
We will see you next week, Freak Nation. Later.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race. It's a spectacle. It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. 2023 is bigger and better than ever before. Get ready for the wildest festival of speed in the Midwest. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
General Tire was born more than 100 years ago, right here in America. We've spent the last century tackling every kind of road this country has to offer, and especially the places without roads. So you know that with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.